If a Bugatti rebuild can turn into a legal and industry-wide debate, then you already know this is not just another car video. Because what's happening right now with Mat Armstrong and this Bugatti project is going far beyond YouTube. It's turning into a story about control, ownership, and whether independent builders are even allowed to touch hypercars at this level. And the most shocking part? The internet is split right down the middle. Some people say this is just a normal rebuild challenge taken too far, while others believe it could expose how strict supercar manufacturers really are when it comes to repairs outside their official system. Mat Armstrong is known for taking damaged cars and bringing them back to life in ways most people would never attempt. His rebuild style is raw, real, and full of problem-solving. That is exactly why millions of viewers trust him. But this time, the situation is completely different. This is not a regular salvage car or a standard performance rebuild. This is a Bugatti, one of the most complex and controlled hypercars ever built. And that changes everything. According to discussions online, certain internal processes on cars like this may only be done in specific approved facilities with specialized tools. That alone makes a project feel restricted before it even fully begins. But here's where things get interesting. Instead of slowing down, the attention around this rebuild is growing even faster. Every update is being watched closely. Every rumor is being analyzed. And every small detail is turning into a bigger conversation about whether car owners truly have full freedom over what they purchase. Because at the center of all this is a simple but powerful question. If you buy a car, do you fully own it, or do you still need permission to fix it? Bugatti is known for extreme engineering precision and strict service control. Supporters of that system say it is necessary to protect safety, performance, and the value of such advanced machines. But critics argue that ownership should not come with hidden limits. Once a vehicle is sold, they believe the owner should have a right to repair it anywhere, with anyone, using any method they choose. This debate is not new, but this time it feels bigger because it is happening in public, inside a viral YouTube rebuild that millions of people are following. Mat Armstrong's involvement makes it even more intense. He is not a corporate engineer or factory technician. He is an independent creator who works through challenges step by step, often figuring things out in real time. That approach has built his reputation, but it also puts him in direct contrast with highly controlled manufacturer systems. And that contrast is exactly what makes the situation so viral. It is not just a rebuild anymore. It is a clash between two worlds. Independent creators who believe in open repair, and manufacturers who believe in strict control as the project develops. The internet keeps watching closely, trying to understand what will happen next. Will the rebuild continue smoothly, or will restrictions slow it down? Will independent methods succeed on a hypercar level, or will factory limitations prove too strong? These questions are driving massive engagement because the outcome is uncertain, and uncertainty is exactly what keeps people watching. And that is why this Bugatti rebuild has turned into something much bigger than expected. It is no longer just about fixing a damaged car. It is about a growing shift in how people see ownership, control, and creativity in the automotive world. What makes this situation even more interesting is how quickly it has turned from a normal rebuild story into a global discussion. In most car projects, viewers simply wait for the final result. But here, every small update feels important. Every decision, every delay, and every technical challenge becomes part of a bigger narrative that people are actively following. That level of attention does not happen by accident. It happens when a story touches something deeper than just machines. In this case, it touches the idea of control versus freedom in modern engineering. Bugatti, as a brand, represents extreme precision and protection of engineering standards. Their cars are not built like normal vehicles, and that is exactly why they are so expensive and rare. Because of this, many supporters argue that strict repair rules are necessary. They believe that only trained experts with proper tools should handle such complex machines. From their point of view, this protects both the car and the owner from serious mistakes. On the other side, critics see this differently. They believe that once a car is sold, it becomes a full responsibility of the owner, and that includes a right to repair it anywhere they choose. This is where the tension begins to grow, especially when an independent creator like Mat Armstrong enters a situation. Mat Armstrong's approach is very different from factory systems. He works through problems in real time, often using creative thinking instead of official procedures. This style has made him popular because it feels real and relatable. Viewers enjoy watching him face challenges without a scripted plan. But with a hypercar like Bugatti, the level of complexity is much higher than anything he has worked on before. That is why this project feels unpredictable. It is not just about skill anymore. It is about whether independent methods can survive inside a highly controlled engineering environment. As the rebuild continues to gain attention, online discussions are becoming louder. Some people believe this could set a new example for independent hypercar repairs. Others think it highlights why manufacturers keep such strict control in the first place. This divide is what keeps the topic alive. People are not just watching a car being repaired. They are watching a real-time debate unfold in front of them. And because it is happening through a popular YouTube creator, it feels more personal and more engaging than a traditional news story. Another important factor is how uncertainty drives engagement. Nobody knows how far this rebuild will go. Nobody knows if restrictions will slow it down or if creative solutions will overcome them. That uncertainty creates constant curiosity. Every update feels like a new chapter, and every chapter keeps people coming back. This is the exact type of storytelling that performs well in the digital world, because it keeps attention active instead of passive at the same time. This situation is also showing how powerful independent creators have become in shaping public opinion. A few years ago, discussions like this would have stayed inside technical or automotive circles. Now, they are trending across social media platforms, comment sections, and reaction videos. One rebuild project is now influencing conversations about ownership, engineering control, and the future of car repairs. And as the story continues, one thing is becoming very clear. This is not just a Bugatti rebuild anymore. It is a symbol of a larger shift happening in the automotive world, where storytelling, transparency, and independent work are becoming just as important as official systems of manufacturer control. And as this story keeps unfolding, the pressure around it continues to build in a very unusual way. This is no longer just about whether a damaged Bugatti can be repaired or not. It has turned into a situation where every action is being watched, analyzed, and debated by thousands of people online. That level of attention changes everything. In normal car builds, mistakes stay private and solutions happen quietly. But here, every challenge becomes public content, and every decision becomes part of a growing discussion that never really stops. One of the most talked about ideas in this entire situation is a question of how far is too far when it comes to independent rebuilding. Modern hypercars are not simple machines. They are built with extreme precision, and even small parts can be connected to complex systems. This is why manufacturers often recommend controlled environments for repairs. They argue that this protects the car's performance and ensures safety standards are not broken. But critics of this system believe that this level of control creates unnecessary barriers. They feel that once a car is sold, it should not be locked behind restrictions that limit repair freedom. This is where Mat Armstrong's project becomes more than just entertainment. It becomes a real-world example of this debate. Because instead of talking about theory, people are now watching it happen in real time. They are seeing an independent builder attempt something that is normally considered factory-only work. And that is what makes the situation feel so intense. It is not hypothetical anymore. It is happening in front of millions of viewers who are forming their own opinions as the story develops. Another reason this topic is spreading so fast is because of how emotionally engaging transformation content has become. People naturally enjoy watching broken things become whole again. It creates a sense of satisfaction and curiosity at the same time. When that transformation involves a high-value hypercar like a Bugatti, the emotional impact becomes even stronger. It feels rare, expensive, and unpredictable. That combination is exactly what keeps viewers watching longer and sharing the content more often at the same time. The internet is also feeling the intensity of the situation. Short clips, commentary videos, and reaction posts are breaking the story into smaller pieces and spreading it across different platforms. This means that even people who have not seen the full rebuild are still hearing about it. And as more people join the conversation, the topic becomes even bigger. It starts to feel less like a single YouTube series and more like a global automotive discussion. What makes this even more powerful is that there is no clear ending yet. Nobody knows how the rebuild will fully play out. That uncertainty is what keeps attention alive. If the outcome was already known, interest would fade quickly. But because it is still developing, people keep coming back to see what happens next. This is one of the strongest forces in digital storytelling, the feeling that something important is still unfinished. And so the situation continues to grow. A single rebuild project has now become a symbol of a much larger shift in how cars, creators, and audiences interact. It is showing that modern automotive content is no longer just about engines or speed. It is about stories, debates, and real-time events that feel bigger than the platform they're on. In the end, what makes the Bugatti versus Mat Armstrong situation so powerful is not just a car, and not even a rebuild itself, but the way it has turned into a symbol of bigger change happening in the automotive world. A single project has managed to spark discussions about ownership, repair freedom, manufacturer control, and the future of independent builders. These are not small topics, and they are not limited to car enthusiasts anymore. They are now part of a wider conversation that includes creators, engineers, viewers, and even people outside the automotive space who are simply curious about how modern products are controlled and repaired. Mat Armstrong's role in this story is important because it represents a shift in how people learn about cars today. Instead of reading manuals or watching traditional reviews, audiences now follow real-time rebuild journeys. They see the full process, not just a polished result. This creates trust, emotion, and connection in a way that traditional automotive media rarely achieves. At the same time, Bugatti represents the opposite side of the spectrum: strict engineering control, precision systems, and carefully managed repair environments. The contrast between these two worlds is what makes the story feel so intense and engaging. Whether this rebuild succeeds fully, faces limitations, or takes an unexpected turn, the impact is already clear. People are more aware now of how complex modern car systems are, and also more aware of how much control manufacturers can have after sale. That awareness is what keeps the conversation alive. It is not just about watching a car being fixed anymore. It is about questioning how much freedom exists inside high-end engineering systems, and what ownership really means in a world where technology is becoming more controlled. And that is why this story continues to spread. It combines emotion, conflict, curiosity, and uncertainty in a way that naturally attracts attention. There is no final answer yet, and that is exactly why people keep watching. The rebuild is still in progress, the debate is still active, and the outcome is still unknown. In digital storytelling, that combination is powerful enough to keep millions engaged. While the Bugatti rebuild may eventually reach its final stage, the biggest story behind it will likely continue far beyond that moment. Because what started as a garage project has now become a reflection of how modern automotive culture is changing, one rebuild, one video, and one debate at a time.